Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have unshakable confidence in their abilities, even when the facts suggest otherwise? Or conversely, why extremely competent individuals sometimes doubt themselves? Prepare yourself for a fascinating journey into human psychology, where we'll uncover a phenomenon that shapes our daily perceptions and interactions, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Every day we encounter situations that seem to defy logic. We see people with limited skills claiming to be experts, while true masters hesitate to call themselves such. This paradox is not the result of chance, but of a well-documented psychological mechanism. It's a phenomenon that influences our decisions, our relationships, and even how we perceive the world. Understanding this effect can help us better navigate the complexity of human interactions. It offers us a lens to interpret behaviors that might otherwise seem inexplicable or simply arrogant. The Dunning-Kruger effect is named after two Cornell University psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger. In 1999, they published a groundbreaking study explaining this curious cognitive phenomenon. Their research began with an unusual observation. A bank robber, MacArthur Wheeler, was arrested after attempting 2 open-face robberies. He was convinced that lemon juice, if smeared on his face, would make him invisible to security cameras. His astonishing incompetence in assessing reality inspired Dunning and Kruger to investigate. In simple terms, the Dunning-Kruger effect describes a cognitive distortion. People with poor skills in a given area tend to grossly overestimate their competence. Not only are they bad at it, they don't even know they're bad at it. This happens because the same lack of knowledge or skill that makes them incompetent prevents them from recognizing their own incompetence. They lack metacognitive skills, that is, the ability to reflect on and evaluate their own thinking and performance. It's a vicious cycle of ignorance and misplaced confidence. Imagine a complete beginner in a new hobby, like playing the guitar. After a few lessons, he might feel like a virtuoso, ready for the stage. This is a classic manifestation of the Dunning-Kruger effect. His limited knowledge prevents him from appreciating the instrument's complexity. He hasn't yet developed the ability to distinguish a good performance from a mediocre one. He's unaware of the vast array of techniques, musical theories, and years of practice required for true mastery. His confidence is inversely proportional to his actual ability. But this effect also has a lesser discussed downside. Highly competent people, on the other hand, tend to underestimate their own abilities. They believe that what comes easy to them is easy for others too. This phenomenon is sometimes called imposter syndrome. An expert in a specific field might think his knowledge is commonplace. He doesn't realize that years of study and practice have brought him to a level most people don't reach. This humility, while admirable, can lead to one's contribution being undervalued. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't a sign of stupidity, but rather the result of specific cognitive mechanisms. Our mind constantly tries to simplify reality and protect our self-esteem. These processes can lead us to incorrect conclusions about our abilities. One of the key factors is a lack of self-monitoring. We lack the internal tools to objectively evaluate our performance. Furthermore, confirmation bias pushes us to seek information that supports our pre-existing beliefs, ignoring information that contradicts them. To better understand how this effect works, let's do a demo with some concrete examples. You'll see how it manifests itself in various aspects of daily life, both professionally and online. These scenarios will help you recognize the effect when you encounter it. These examples aren't judgments, but observations of behavioral patterns. Recognizing them is the first step to mitigating their negative effects. They allow us to better understand the social and personal dynamics that surround us. Think of the friend who offers to fix everything in the house, from a leaky faucet to the electrical system. Often, he has excessive confidence in his abilities, even when the results are disastrous or even dangerous. He lacks the skills to assess the complexity of the job. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. His inexperience prevents him from foreseeing the consequences of his mistakes. This leads him to believe he's more skilled than he actually is, with sometimes comical, sometimes frustrating results for those around him. Another classic example is driving. Many studies have shown that the vast majority of people consider themselves above average drivers. Statistically, this is impossible. The reality is that many overestimate their driving skills. This can lead to risky behaviors, such as speeding or reckless maneuvers. Lack of awareness of one's limits can have serious consequences, not only for oneself, but also for other road users. Overconfidence can be dangerous. Imagine a new hire at a company, fresh out of college, who after just a few weeks feels ready to revolutionize established processes. He might openly criticize existing strategies, convinced he has all the answers. His limited experience prevents him from understanding the complexity of the situation. They haven't yet faced the real challenges and nuances that only experience can teach. This overconfidence may be perceived as arrogance, but it's often a manifestation of the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It's a learning moment, not a moment of true mastery. Social media is fertile ground for the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Anyone can express an opinion on any topic, often with great confidence, regardless of their knowledge. Comments on medicine, politics, economics, or science are often filled with self-proclaimed experts. These people with superficial knowledge feel entitled to contradict true experts. The lack of filters and the ability to hide behind a screen amplify this phenomenon. The spread of misinformation is often fueled by this dynamic. A particularly sensitive example is found in the health field. People with little or no medical training can promote miracle cures or extreme diets. They are convinced of their effectiveness, often based on anecdotes or unverified information. Their confidence is so strong that they ignore scientific evidence and the opinions of qualified professionals. This can lead to decisions that are dangerous to their own health and that of others. A lack of understanding of the complexity of the human body and medicine underlies this overestimation. The Dunning-Kruger effect is often represented graphically as a curve. Initially, with very little knowledge, confidence is extremely high. It's the peak of Mount Stupidity. Here, the individual believes they know everything, based on superficial understanding. As one acquires more knowledge, confidence plummets dramatically. One enters the valley of despair. Here, the individual realizes how little he truly knows, and his self-esteem suffers. It is a crucial moment of humility and learning. After the initial surge of confidence, reality hits. The individual begins to realize the vastness of knowledge and their own ignorance. This is the moment when confidence collapses and one enters the valley of despair. It is a period of frustration and doubt. However, it is also the turning point. With commitment and perseverance, one begins to climb the slope of enlightenment. Knowledge gradually increases, and with it a more realistic and grounded confidence. One learns to recognize one's limitations and to value continuous learning. At the end of the journey, one reaches the sustainability plateau. Here, confidence is high, but it is based on solid expertise and deep understanding. The individual is aware of their abilities, but also of their limitations. They are experts, but with humility. This stage is characterized by a constant thirst for knowledge and the ability to adapt. The individual knows that there is always something new to learn, and that true mastery requires constant commitment. Confidence is earned, not assumed. As mentioned, the Dunning-Kruger effect has an interesting counterpart: imposter syndrome. This affects highly competent people who, despite evidence of their success, believe they are inadequate. They fear being discovered as frauds. This syndrome is often present in individuals who have achieved high levels of success. Their profound knowledge makes them aware of the complexity of their field, leading them to doubt their own abilities. It's the opposite of mountain of stupidity. Recognizing the Dunning-Kruger effect is the first step. But how can we avoid its pitfalls, both for ourselves and in our interactions with others? There are concrete strategies we can adopt to promote more accurate assessment of competencies. These strategies require humility, open-mindedness, and an active commitment to learning. It's not just about acquiring new knowledge, but also about developing greater self-awareness and one's capabilities. It's a journey of personal and intellectual growth. Seek constructive feedback. Regularly seek opinions from trusted and knowledgeable people. Be open to criticism and use it to improve. External feedback is a valuable tool for calibrating our self-perception. Learn continuously. Never stop studying and learning. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there still is to know. Curiosity is the engine of true knowledge and intellectual humility. Reflect on your performance. After a task, objectively evaluate what went well and what didn't. Keep a learning journal to track your progress and challenges. Self-reflection is essential for growth. Question your certainties. Don't assume you're always right. Be willing to change your mind when faced with new evidence. Open-mindedness is a sign of intelligence and maturity. Accept your limitations. No one knows everything. Recognizing your limitations isn't a weakness, but a strength. It allows you to ask for help and learn from others, accelerating your development. Evaluate sources. When someone expresses an opinion with great confidence, ask yourself what their sources are and their actual expertise. Don't accept statements without verifying them. Critical thinking is essential. Provide gentle feedback. If you need to correct someone exhibiting the Dunning-Kruger effect, do so tactfully. Focus on the facts and offer resources for learning rather than attacking the person. The goal is to educate, not humiliate. Encourage questioning. Create an environment where it's safe to ask questions and admit you don't know. This reduces the pressure to appear expert and promotes more authentic learning. Curiosity is contagious. Value real experience. Recognize and reward demonstrated experience and expertise, not just confidence. This helps set realistic standards and discourage presumption. Meritocracy is an antidote to ignorance. Be patient. Changing your self-perception takes time. Be patient with those going through the valley of despair and encourage them on their journey of growth. Support is essential. Understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect doesn't mean judging others. Rather, it means developing greater awareness of ourselves and the world around us. It helps us be more humble in our beliefs and more empathetic towards others. It allows us to recognize when we might be on the mountain of stupidity and actively seek to descend. It is an invitation to a life of continuous learning, critical reflection, and intellectual honesty. True wisdom begins with the awareness of one's own ignorance. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a powerful reminder of how complex the human mind is. It shows us that confidence isn't always a reliable indicator of competence. In fact, sometimes it's just the opposite. Recognizing this effect is crucial for personal growth and building a more informed and thoughtful society. Now it's your turn. What examples of the Dunning-Kruger effect have you encountered in your life? Have you ever recognized yourself on the mountain of stupidity or the valley of despair? Share your experiences in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel to never miss further insights into psychology and human behavior, and click the bell for notifications. Your participation enriches our community of critical thinkers.